Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the latest on the Jack Eichel situation with the Buffalo Sabres. This thing just is never going to end. So, taking a look at that today. So, according to a recent report from an insider, David Pagnotta, a pretty big hockey insider, the Ducks, Golden Knights, Rangers, Blue Jackets, and Flames have been linked to forward Jack Eichel. Now, a lot of these names you've probably heard of recently. That's no real surprise. But there are some teams here that I'm a little bit interested to see. Now, we knew the Ducks, the Golden Knights, and the Rangers. They've always been in the conversation for picking up a guy like Jack Eichel. But now we're hearing the Blue Jackets and the Flames, two teams that I think are non-playoff teams, maybe going after the star center. Now, the thing is here, this may have to do more with the salary. They have salary cap space to make that move. Unlike teams like the Ducks, well, you could argue the Ducks have the cap space, but the Golden Knights and the Rangers absolutely do not have the cap space to make that deal. And the question is, if you look at those teams who would want him, what can they give back? And you could argue the Blue Jackets do have some guys they could give up. I don't know if Blue Jackets fans would want to hear this, but probably you'd have to give up a guy like Kent Johnson. I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at. I don't think they want to do that. So then you've got that side of things, right? And then you also have all this recent stuff about him switching agents. He fired his old agent, and now he has brought in Pat Brisson, who we know is a pretty big name. He's got one of the bigger contracts in the league with John Tavares, $11 million per year. He's got some other pretty big guys on his list, and Jack Eichel is now one of those guys with the $10+ million on Brisson. So this is a situation where Jack Eichel, I don't think it's going to have any huge ramifications at this very moment. But once things kind of get finalized at some point, we hope soon, there could be something done here, and Brisson may use some of his leverage to try and get something done. But at the end of the day, if the Buffalo Sabres are not willing to move and they kind of keep their feet stuck in the mud, there's really not much Jack Eichel and any agent he has, including Pat Brisson, that they can really do. And, obviously they've had that meeting with the NHL, which you would hope maybe makes things a little bit easier in that sense. But I'm kind of dumbfounded at why this is taking so long. I think it's because it is very complicated. I think the Sabres, Kevin Adams, and the management and the rest of the ownership there has kept things pretty on the down low recently. But when we do get stuff, it's usually after it already happened. Like that meeting with the NHL, we didn't find that out really till after it had already happened. That's when I at least found out about it. So, this whole thing with Eichel, I hope it gets cleared up at some point. But I think the assumption is, the real question, and that's what the title of this video is, will he play in training camp with the Buffalo Sabres? Because you have to think, that is where the Buffalo Sabres lose their leverage, is when Jack Eichel comes in and says, I'm not attending training camp until I am moved. And that's kind of like some people could say that's kind of a douchey move on Jack Eichel for doing that. But I think you could look at it both ways here. Now, the thing is, Jack Eichel won't be in training camp anyway because of his injury. So I think the Sabres realize, listen, he can't not attend training camp if he's not even healthy. He can't go anywhere until he's healthy. So I think it's more of the old school versus the new school mindset with whether he should, because he's signed by the Sabres, he has to take their medical advice, or the new school mindset, which is he should have that final decision. I think that's kind of in play here as well. It's not a good look for the Buffalo Sabres in general, because if players are coming in, they're going to, let's just say in free agency, right? Oh, I'm going to sign a 4, 5, 6-year deal, and what if I get hurt? I don't have a say on the way I handle my surgery. Players will definitely not be turned onto that situation and probably just go elsewhere. I think that this is a situation where the Buffalo Sabres really have to be careful where they toe the line of being firm and sturdy with what you think, with kind of like what Lou Lamoriello does with his, keeping a tight ship, and also not pissing everybody off and maybe looking bad to potential free agents in the future. I think there is a fine line there. So I think there's still something to be said. This is definitely not over. I really hope, I know Sabres fans just want to hear some good news. But I think the good news at this point would be just to lose Jack Eichel, because he doesn't want to play there. And I think Sabres fans are getting frustrated with Jack Eichel at this point, where it's like, I think it could be one of those things where in the future, Sabres fans will remember, how Jack Eichel left the organization and not when he came in. And he was the breath of fresh air when he was drafted, second overall. So, like I said, we'll see what happens here. This is just an ongoing story that just doesn't seem like it wants to end. And it's really not going to end until he's inevitably traded, which I think for the most part we all see at some point that will be the result. His contract doesn't end till 2026. He's still there for a couple good seasons. He is not out of the woodwork yet. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think of this whole thing with Jack Eichel? Do you think he has to get traded? Is he going to suck it up and take the surgery? What is going to happen here moving forward? And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. And I just want to give a quick plug to our Streamlabs shop, where I am now selling Goal Line Hockey merch. So if you're interested in any Goal Line Hockey swag, make sure to check out that link in the description down below. Guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.